Okay. Yeah, it doesn't actually play anything, does it? I just figured that out. I'm gonna fix that before I forget. Boy, oh boy. Am I way too loud as well? Let me see. Yeah, that doesn't actually play anything, does it? Okay, no, that's fine. Let me fix the other one. Okay, then we'll get going here. It's on the Be Right Back. So that's a little bit silly, isn't it? I've got to fix this a little bit. I was doing a stream on my other channel last night. Jordan plays music. Gotta fix it a little more. That's probably good. Yeah, I have been streaming my practicing. Hang on, let me just check. Let's just see. Okay, good. I fixed that. Yeesh. How can I do this in a good way? I'm trying to put some heat on my back, and I dropped it. Okay. Yeah, this will work. Sorry, I would have set up before starting this, but I thought, if I start it instead of preparing, it'll motivate me to do some of my tasks a little faster. Like in Among Us. Let me get some January jazz going here. And is it? Yeah, it's January. It is indeed January. Let's see. I'm gonna click on this one. Okay. Make sure Sibelius. I do not want Sibelius to be making sound. I think it is going to, though. It's not. Okay. Even with no performer, this does not sound very good. That's okay. Sounds good IRL. So just having a glance through this this first movement. Actually, sorry, let me check one more time. This does not sound very good. That's okay. Sounds good IRL. Wait, I can't hear the... Can anyone hear the music? My January jazz? No, you can't. Okay, hang on. I think if I just restart, that should work. All right. Sorry, you're getting like 3 layers of nonsense right now. So, just with a quick look over the first movement, this is looking pretty good, I think. Yeah, I'm not minding the white space so much. There's a good amount of white space. Love that it fills up the entire page 9. You know? Okay, I promise I'm only going to do this one more time. Now that I know I have enough distance. Yeah, I'm not minding the white space so much. There's a good amount of white space. Love that it fills up the entire page 9. Okay, I could stand to turn up the... Sorry. Okay, maybe that's better. Just let me know if it seems out of whack. I'm not gonna check again. Swear on my life. I think this was an elegant solution. I'm glad I figured out that this is actually a 16th rest and not an 8th rest, because that would be mighty embarrassing, folks. But today we're going to look at the second movement, which is just gorgeous, obviously. We've got a poco a poco crescendo, which we're going to do that little line trick with again. And you know, I just had a little trick played on my eyes. And that trick was that I thought I saw a double bar line here. Not a final double bar line like this, which we're gonna have to... Oh yeah, what a freaking wreck. That looks fine. Do we have that in movement 3? Doesn't look like it. Movement 4? No. Let me just unlock everything there. Oops. Oh, the cadenza confused me. Okay, unfortunately we do have to make a system break there, and we're good on the second movement. So first thing we need to do is just add that movement title. And so this is, I talked about this just barely last time. The reason I have to put these letters in like this, wait, that's a good title, right? Is because this is not an all caps font. So I have to have it's a different text size than, you know, the S and the 2. Good, let's bring it down just like that, and then kind of do, that looks good. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna hide hidden objects. So now they're doubly hidden. And yeah, first thing we can do, I'm getting distracted. I'm so easily distracted. Let's go ahead and go into our lines. Find our crescendo here. We're gonna make a new one based on this. It's gonna be poco a poco crescendo. Poco a poco crescendo. Then you don't want to do it all the way to the last note in Sibelius. And the reason is that if you do with a line like this, it'll actually hang over to the next system, and then you kind of have to drag it back and kind of up here. It just makes it slightly more annoying. So it's good if you can Just remember to not do it. And then you just have to just do just like that. So nice. Now we were doing 12. That's our distance between, and I suppose, yeah, these are millimeters, right? 12 millimeters between the piano staves. And then we were looking at like 15 or so. 14.8, 15.2. That's because there's the rehearsal mark there. Yeah. That all looks great. And then between actual systems, we got 24.2. That's all fine. Now, I'm going to bring that to the center. Have to say, oh, okay, no, that works. It did exactly the right adjustment there. Now I want that to sit in the middle as well. What I don't love about this is that you don't see the line coming out of this. And you also don't see it connecting to the destination dynamic. I think our pianists will be smart enough. I don't think it's going to be a problem. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing else that could be, so yeah, I think that's perfectly fine. So let's first go through and do all the dynamics. I'm going to try and just be a little bit more focused, just in the sense of like, whoa, just in the sense of like doing things kind of formulaically. For example, I'm gonna go and do all of these like in between the staves things. That can afford to be higher. A little low. Right? Something. Yeah, okay. The slurs. Yeah, I just don't know about them. That's all of the in between the staff related stuff. They do not need a freaking up bow. So it's not good practice to start an instrument like the cello if they're resting at the beginning, to start them in treble clef, even if the first thing that they're going to play is in treble clef. You should start them in bass and then put a treble clef right here, because it's just, you kind of take for granted like the clef at the beginning, right? Like if you're playing cello or viola or something, you're gonna assume that you're gonna be in your native clef. Native? You know what I'm saying? Your regular clef. Yeah, cello's starting out in regular clef for this one. I actually wonder if I just kind of want to see what this looks like in. I think that looks a lot nicer, personally. Kind of want that a little bit further back. This is all looking quite clear. Now, I have to do something that might mess me up in the first movement. Let me just have a look, because what I want to do for the second movement in particular is beam over rests, because we're in 6/8. I hope it doesn't screw anything up here. Logically, like, it shouldn't, but you know, it's software. It's got weird stuff. So I think that's going to be in engraving rules. Now, we got a beams and stems. I'm really scared. There's a lot of sound going on right now. I don't know how audible it is. Why is that? I think there's an awful lot of I'm not gonna mess with it. Okay. So, kind of a fun fact is that while working on the last I mean, that's not very fun, but it's a little bit fun. When I was working on the last movement of this, I was actually using this keyboard to help me write it, which is a little funny because this was at my parents' house when I was in college, but I went home for spring break my first year, and I really needed to come up with something for the last movement. I was having a really, really hard time. I had a hard time with the third movement, and then it wasn't so bad. See, yeah, it did mess this up. I actually wound up reusing material that I had previously set aside for something else that never came to fruition. The gymnopédie was originally going to be for a saxophone quartet, and it just didn't work well in that setting, and so I gave up on the quartet itself. And I needed to write the third movement for this, and I was just so drained and exhausted that and Carter, my teacher, he gave me the Shostakovich Cello Sonata as, a piece of inspiration. Go home and listen to this. Dee-da-dee, dee-da-dee, dee-da. Okay, that's all good. That's a good one. We'll keep that. And I had a hard time. I just found myself comparing myself to Shostakovich, or rather his cello sonata to mine, particularly the slow movement, which is really like gorgeous and haunting in the Shostakovich. And I just had a really difficult time then. Like, I had already decided to use that gymnopédie for the third movement, and I was like, oh, maybe that shouldn't be the slow movement. Maybe I need to do something that evolves more organically and is not so like prescribed almost, because like with the gymnopédie, you're imitating a specific 3 pieces by a specific guy. It's not really an established genre, so it's a little bit more when you're composing it. It's like, okay, you do the 1 2 1 2, and then you have the melody come in later and in the 5th bar or whatever, and so it might not feel as organic, and that was sort of what I was running into. Eventually I did decide to just keep the gymnopédie, and I'm happy that I did. I didn't try to kill myself over a movement of a cello sonata. I don't mean that literally. I mean that, if I had tried to imitate Shostakovich, I would have had a very hard time. Particularly, I mean, it's not hard to imitate Shostakovich actually, but particularly that movement of that piece, I would have had a really hard time trying to write something like that, and so I'm glad I didn't. So anyway, I wound up at the 4th movement. By the way, folks, I forgot. I'm gonna make some double bar lines in here just to show some structure. Yeah, anyway, so I got around to writing the 4th movement during the spring break of that semester, and I was using this keyboard. That's the whole reason for that long ramble. Now, where do we think? I think this is a good spot. I almost have the desire to move this rehearsal mark 2 bars earlier, but it works better as a rehearsal mark here, because what's the point of the pianist playing these 2 bars, starting from there anyway. But structurally, I think the double bar line goes there. Then let's go. Yeah, we don't need a lot. Let's just do the moderato. And I saw that there was a chat. Give me just 1 sec. Yeah, I think that's good. Okay. Hello. In your experience, is it better to compose at the instrument or away from it at a desk? Oh, that's a great question. I really advocate for composing with an instrument. Or if you don't have an instrument, or you don't have like the skills needed to be proficient at any given instrument, just hum or sing quietly or whistle or whatever, or do something that like gets you to actually make the sound. I think it's really, really helpful to be able to hear it in the real world, because you can audiate all you want, you can imagine it, but I think to actually try and hum through something is especially helpful for like finding your way through like a melody or something. Now, when it comes to orchestrating or coming up with the harmony for something, I mean, harmony's gonna be difficult to figure out, by whistling or singing or something, because you only have the one. I mean, you can try and make multiple pitches, but not in a meaningful way. So having a piano is helpful for that, or just, you know, writing it and seeing what you get. But yeah, I really advocate for using an instrument or your voice as an instrument. Either way, great question, and thanks for being here, by the way. I think that this page looks good. I need to do the crescendo thing here. Matter of fact, why have I done that? That's only 2 bars. What a bunch of freaking nonsense, right? Wonder why I did that. Let's get this put in the right spot. That's good. And then this opens into the mezzo forte. Now, sorry, I hope you can't hear my drinking noises. Now, the slurs are difficult for me to figure out. I'm not going to mess with the cello because the performers are going to do what they're going to do. They're going to change the bowings if they want to. I just want to look at the piano and see if this all makes sense, the articulations and the slurs. So having one here, I think, is good. That's a little bit gross, isn't it? Can I just kind of tuck it under? Oh, yeah. Is that okay? Let's give it a little bit of breathing room. Let's pull it like there and then do, oh, come on. Something like that, I think. Da 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 dee da da dee da da dee da da. Yeah, to be totally real, I'm not sure that there's a good reason that some of these have, well, many of these notes have staccato dots and others don't. I'm really not sure that there's a good reason. Now, I know in some spots, I know that I had specific intentions. This is not one of those spots where I have any particular memory. Da 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 dee da da dee da da dee. I mean, that's not, yeah, I mean, that is also kind of what performers do. I say performers. The 2 people who've played this, the 2 pianists who have played this, have done this sort of, oh, for God's sake, connecting these notes into the staccato. Good Lord. Yeah, okay, that's better. Much better. Okay. God, that looks awful. This is why we're here. Okay, well, firstly, this can be here. Can't it? Can it? I don't really know what the rules are for articulations inside the staff. I mean, that's looking nice in the space there. What would happen? Okay, this is an F and an A. If I drag these down really far and then drag these up. Okay, yeah, the accent just sort of sits in the space. I don't remember what that was originally. That goes like that. All right. Yeah, so the accent can sit right there. Let's get rid of these dots. I don't think they're quite right. And then the dots go away, and that I do have memory of being intentional, because the pedal gets a little bit like wetter here. It's a little bit more liberal. Yeah. I'm not going to put pedal markings in this piece because I never did when I wrote it, and so I think to include those would be firstly annoying, secondly not accurate to like my original conception of the piece. I think that can be up to the pianists. They can choose what they would like to do. The tenor clef change I think is a good one. Oh, I almost left this. That would have been a little bit silly. To respace this. Yeah, I wish there would be default settings for like how double bar lines, like final double bar lines, are treated, just like in terms of cautionary clefs and time signatures and key signatures. So here is another example. I just think that that's more correct. Will they allow me to do that? What if I do this? No, he doesn't want that clef to be. I like it a little further away. How about I compromise? It looks too damn close, right? I mean, come on. I think that's good. I think that's a better deal there. Okay. Now the bass clef, to be real, doesn't bother me with its closeness. Maybe just a little. I don't know. Yeah, I think having it on the beat instead of at the beginning of the bar is fine and probably better. Okay. So this is all well and good. I haven't used any ottava markings yet, and this might be the first spot to do it. I don't know. Let's see. Let's try it, see how it looks. Oops, not that low. Yeah, I mean, it effectively is taking up the same amount of space. But I think it's a little bit more, it's a little less ridiculous. Okay, good. Let's respace stuff. I'm gonna get this freaking tenor clef away from here. Just that much. That's so much nicer looking. Yeah, so something I learned about ottava markings, even if you're doing it on a single note, So I'll show you what I used to do. So for example, if I wanted this an octave down, I would go into the symbols menu and let's see. I would do that. But the reason that this is good with the dashed line coming out with the hook is because it just like indicates that it's not going to like continue until otherwise marked. Because what you could do is put that and drag it down there. I would never do this. I don't think any living composer would ever do this, or living publisher, whatever. But there is music that does this. And so it's just a clearer, you know, might as well skip the thinking about it at all. You know, you just have the hook here. What's up, Camden? Hope you're doing well too. Thanks for hanging out. This is actually a finished piece. There are 2 performances of it that you can find on this channel. What I'm doing right now is just making a really good... I'm trying to make a nice score and part, because the original that I had were very ugly. So that's... I'm just kind of polishing it up a little bit, making a couple little changes here and there. But yeah, hope you're doing well too. I would be happy to send it to you, by the way, once I'm finished with this. It is a little bit of a nasty piece, I will say. So you can listen to it and decide if you'd like to have it or not. Okay. This is pirate music, by the way, folks. Yeah, so I think I was here when I stopped thinking about articulation. So yeah, I mean this nice long slur, and then not slurred. How does this get played? Because this is a large part of how I'm making these decisions here. Let me play this for you. So we'll do the score video so that I can see where I am. Oops, too far. Sorry, I reckon that's probably pretty quiet. Let's see how Derek does it. Derek, where are you? Nelson and Derek. Right here, this is what I'm looking for. It's gotta be staccato, right? So da 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 dee da 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 dee da dee da dee. No, that's terrible. It's terrible. All of these can be staccato. Sorry, let me get my January jazz back. There you go. I hope that's audible. So I kind of want to just bring this all the way here, which is maybe silly, I don't know. But it shows the phrase, you know? And that is all connected. Da 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 dee da dee dee da 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 dee da 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 dee da. And this is where that breath would be. Da dee da da dee da da dee da da dee. Why did I put a freaking half note there? Did I do that in cello part too? Yep. That's bad. This is why we're here, folks. That's why we're doing this. Okay. Now that needs to, yeah. Da-da-da-da-da. I'm not going to do slurs for the right hand because it's just accompaniment. Like, what do you want me to do? Like, every 3 notes or every bar? It's like, what's the point? We already have things that show those groupings of notes. Is that a good reason to not do it? I think so. But again, I hate piano slurs. Dun dun ding dun 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 ding da da ding dum bum. I'll put a slur here because it is connected. Ding da da dee da dum bum 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 bum. What's up, Ernesto? I loved your video. I thought it was really great. I was thinking about it this morning and I was like, shit, what was it? I was thinking about something else or other things that your message could be applied to, because I think it's very much applicable to a lot of things, like learning things without context can like be really misleading. I just think that's such a good. I would not have thought to like make a video about that. Yeah, go check out Ernesto's channel, you guys. It's a good channel. It's almost at 5K. That's pretty freaking exciting. 5K subscribers, I mean. He's gonna run a 5K once he gets there. Just kidding. I mean, he might. I don't know. That I might do that actually. Ernesto, don't do that. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm thinking optimistically, right? There's just something about this look of the slur going through the flat. I just really like it. I don't know if it's right or wrong. That I don't love when it just obscures the top. Maybe it doesn't matter. I just like how that looks. Yeah, thanks for being here, folks. I appreciate it. This, I think, is all good in terms of articulation. And I'm just scanning. Da-da-dum, dee-da-dum. I mean, these should be slurred, right? Those are so Let's bring that over there. Okay, so I'm gonna have to do a lot of adjusting. That's fine. Let's first space our staves and do our middle of the staff things here. So we want 12. 12. 12. Okay. 15.2, 15.2, 15.2. That one has a little extra because of the rehearsal mark, which is fine. Let's get our middle parts adjusted. So, piano subito. Doesn't that look a little askew? That looks better to me. That's good. These guys. Yeah, that looks good. I gotta not get thrown off by the beams. What I'm looking for is the middle of the innermost staff lines. You know, it's not the space between the top of this stem and this beam, right? It's the actual between the staff. Is there a way to bring a line like that up? That would be cool. That would be a cool feature. There's no way that exists. What the hell? That would be so cool, though. Okay, now what is that supposed to be? We have two crescendi, one from forte, one from mezzo forte, that go nowhere. Like, why not? Da da ya, da 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 da. Actually, that's fine. They don't have to go somewhere because that's just like a little phrasing thing. Da da ya, da 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 da. Oh, it's so ugly. Something like that. That looks good. Yeah, okay. No, not dealing with that yet. Tried to be pretty adventurous in this movement, and that I used the left hand. Meet the Flintstones. Sorry. Left hand for the tune, accompaniment in the right hand. Where's the actual... Yeah, here's my left hand tune. That was pretty fun to play with. I think that's the first... Yes, it has to be the first time I did that because it's the first, like, actual piece for piano. I definitely had a lot of pieces in high school for piano. They were not so good, folks. They were not so good. Now, I may have just not needed to do any of that work. Let me see. Oops. Nope. Nope. For God's sake. Reset design and position. So, okay, no. That needs to be like that. Grab you. I guess you're fine, whatever. Da 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 dee da dum. Yeah, I just want it to be connected. That's all. That's all I want. Come on. Something there. Okay. Now what a freaking disaster this is. Yeah. That's not so hard. Yeah, looks good. Unless it would look better with the slurs above, but I really don't think it would. Then, now we have some serious stuff. I love that every note is accented. That's good. So there's definitely enough room. I just need to take him off of magnetic. And same with this guy. See, that's weird. It shows that he wants to go here. But he doesn't do that when I take him off of magnetic. So let me just do this again. Off. And then drag this up. And nothing happens. Jeez. Is that acceptable placement? Where does he want to go? What if I turn it back on? Default position. Okay, just in the same spot as that note. Yeah, you don't want it, I guess, to be like in the like staff line. And then this is certainly going to be, yeah. Super weird that that happens. I'm gonna bring these back in, or yeah. Good deal. Composing time. Have a good rest of your stream and day. Thank you very much for stopping by. Hope your composing goes well. That's looking better. It's a good looking page. Not overly convinced by that slur. Fine, whatever. Can't look at it for too long or I'll freak out. Now, you know what? I better do this for the whole piece. Otherwise I'm gonna forget. We're gonna put double bar lines all over the place. Kind of think this can all be in bass. Yeah. Da dee da dee da da dum ba dee da da dum. Oh, I'm getting distracted. Let's put one here. That's a big structural. Wow. What the hell? Okay. I get it. I don't like it, but I get it. This is just me. I really thought it was smart. It just isn't, though. It's just stupid. Let's take that out, these second voices. The idea being you hold it. I don't know, maybe it's not a terrible idea. I do think it is, though. They can just be slurred. It's the same effect, right? To just do that. Oops. What happens? Let's see. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Filters. Slurs. Grab that. Paste. Will this work? No, it won't. Okay, that's a little confusing. Why did that happen? Da dee da 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 dee da da dee da da. Okay, that's where the last double bar line can be. Well, not the last, but. Start of the B section. Oh, I've done it. Oh, it's because it's a key change. I did not do that. The key signature did that. That's good though, you know. Oh, damn it. Freaking fermatas, man. Okay. Oh, come on. Third to last and last bar should have. Even the empty bars need the fermata. Okay. That should be flipped. Why on earth would I put that? Okie dokie. Now, this could use a double bar. Dun, 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 dun. Come on. I really was. What the fuck? Really wasn't doing it the right way. All right. C is a double bar. This is the part that I wrote on this keyboard. How fun is that? Look at these slurs. Wow. Here's the cadenza. It's a pretty evil piece, I gotta say. Okay, we do not return to the B theme. Actually, matter of fact, I think that sort of recap. Yeah, that might be a good last spot for a double bar. Letter E, because yeah, it's all just pointed toward the end by then. It's like nothing new structurally, I think. Nothing majorly new, anyway. So this page looks good. Da, 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 dee, da, dee, da. What? Okay. Just checking the cello slurs to make sure. Yeah. You know, there's not a ton of articulation information in here. Like, should these be short? Probably. But as short as this, maybe not. You could play them as short. But, you know, it's nice to just trust that the cellist will do something nice. You know? I like what Jake did with the tune. I like what Nelson did with the tune. I'm gonna like what Louis gonna do with the tune. Good. Gotta make sure those beams are not sticking out too far. Stems and beams. Do we have... Oh, we got plenty of room. 12. 12, 12, and 12. 14.9. Oh, wow. Got plenty of room there for some reason. Yeah, this is all fine. Let's get these centered. Okay, then after that, the next thing I'm going to do is look at cello slurs. I mean, that's ridiculous. Let's use that. That's completely ridiculous. Okay, cello slurs. He's looking maybe a little too, yeah, round. And now just kind of thread the needle there. These two. That one's good. This one needs some help. That's better. Eh. Fine. This is the same as this. F, G flat, E flat. Gorgeous. Okay, now thinking of the piano slurs. Dee da da dee da dee da. Bum 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 bum. Yeah, nothing in there. Nothing in here either, because a slur is also gonna, I mean, these could be, a slur could be misinterpreted as a tie. So you'd have to put it above the top note. But it's clear that it should be connected anyway. Dun, da, da, dee, dun, dun. No, that's fine. All that is all good. Now, okay, that's what I was wondering. Now, I think I was maybe trying to be reserved about using triple fortes or triple anything. That may be the reason that there's not a printed dynamic here, because we have fortissimo subito up here. I think these are just indications that, like, in this spot in the tune, just push a little bit more. Same here. I think at this time I was being conservative about my usage of triple dynamics, because I had learned that I mean, this is true of like a lot of composers, but I was particularly into Beethoven when I was 18. And so I had learned that Beethoven does not use triple dynamics liberally. And because of that, when he does use one, it's such a great symbol of showing like this is the loudest moment of the piece or the movement, or this is the softest part of the piece or the movement. You know, there's so much that you can do, and there's so much more that performers can do with just like a couple dynamic markings, because, you know, mezzo forte doesn't equal a certain number of decibels. It's, you know, all interpretive, and so everything the performers are going to interpret, and so there's just a whole world of range within fewer dynamic markings that allow you to use bigger or smaller ones more meaningfully. I don't know why. I don't know why we have this here. Good. Let's do spacing first. Start at the bottom. Oops, what the hell? These slurs are going to be a pain in the ass. Let's go for, well, let's check that this all was retained. Kind of. Fine. Okay. That's a long crescendo, isn't it? So we'll have to do the dash line for that for sure. This does not have to be so far down. Yeah, a couple things wrong with with that. This, let's take this off just to get it a little closer. Like that's fine. Okay, we'll deal with that in a sec. Let's do piano slurs last. Let's do cello slurs right now. They all look fine. Yeah, I mean, maybe this could afford to be a little flatter. I don't really love that though, to be honest. Okay. Oh, you know what'll be helpful is that I can just do PPP. That'll give us a little bit more room there, and then I'll put poco poco crescendo under the slur. Good, let's do that here as well. Make sure that it's kind of in the middle. And then we have poco a poco crescendo. It's ridiculous. See, only one triple forte here. And I'm certain that was intentional, because if it weren't, we'd see more of them. That doesn't really make sense what I just said. God, what on earth was I doing here? So let's get rid of this. Yeah. Just put it. Yep, just like that. Now this is all jacked up. Let's do a feathered beam here. And then by this point, the cello should be like full speed. Da, 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 da. What to do here? This is like another. We ran into this at the end of the last movement, or the previous movement. I mean, where like what I want, what I wanted, I was not able to clearly notate. Let me do a couple things. We're gonna save a little bit of room by doing this. Okay. Then take this away and this away. There's got to be a more elegant way to do this. I think I'm going to use a tuplet so that... Okay, what is it? It's D... melodic minor ascending, and it's 1 E and a 2 E and a, it's not a tuplet. So if this can be an eighth note and perhaps be on its own, I can then also make these like Q sized. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I need actually 9 notes in the span of 8. So we're gonna go to this. 9:8. Be natural. We're gonna hide that 9. The fermata is gonna go right there. I don't care how they'd bow it, but that's my sort of instinct for it. Fermata's there as well. That last measure looks good. So. Yeah, let's go ahead. Everything's going to become Q-sized. We're going to respace this system. Did that do anything? And I'm also going to write a shell ad lib. Put it there. Q-sized. Now, in the actual cello part, maybe it's not Q-sized. I don't really know. Hey, that's... We have something here. let me have this. That looks good. This will work. This will work. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna have to respace stuff, correct? Yep. That looks like about the middle. 50.2, 12, 15, 12, 16, fine. Let's do that. Then actually, I don't even want you there. I want you here. Oops, but I'm... Oh, no, that's right, that's right. Just looks a little bit wacky. Okay, let me respace this system as well. Save. I look like I ate pizza for lunch. You smell like you ate pizza for lunch. New York, New York. Next time you'll think twice before being mean. Am I right or am I right? Now, does this happen inside the crescendo? I mean, I guess it did, so whatever. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do... Yes, I do. Yeah, that's fine, and then we can put whatever. Yeah. I mean, they can maybe reset here to get slightly softer and then really get up to the forte. Whatever, I'm not gonna micromanage that. Good and gorgeous. Let me pull you back to... Oh, come on. I have to do something I don't want to do, which is turn that magnetic layout off. That's a good height there. That's a fine height for this line. I don't think I can... Yeah, I can't do them independently. So it's going to have to be that. And then... Yeah, it's actually going to have to go with this one. Okay, let's see. No, I mean, fine, whatever. Oh, you were gonna donate $100? Wow, that's generous. You're just like Ellen the Generous. Put it here. Okay. So from E to the end, I think we have something that works. Get out of here. Yeah. That looks good. Now we have to deal with the disastrous slurs of the left hand. Oh, frick. That's a little more balanced looking. Works there as well. Will it work here? Maybe not. Oh. Not bad at all. I might just use this for everything. Now this one, just get a slight curve. Excellent. And then a normal one right there. Normal one there. One with extra curve there. Extra curvy. Yeah, that's... Let's zoom out. Yeah. Okay. I know it works for this one. Does it work for this? Yeah. This would be better though, I think. Yeah, much better. For when they've got to go around the natural or sharp, it's nicer. Once again, when do you just write sim? I don't know. I don't know the answer. Okay. That's that page kind of solved, I feel. Which means that's that movement solved. What in God's name is this tempo marking? Dotted half note equals 24. Give me a freaking break. It's just ridiculous. But that's an issue for later in the week, I suppose. Okay. Good deal. I think that's good for the day. I will come back with a third movement, probably, maybe tomorrow, but probably not. I'm probably gonna be practicing. I'm gonna practice later this afternoon as well on my other channel.